Hello and welcome to Bodyslams and Drop. Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa. This ain't no B&D. Britt ain't here. So why don't you just step off and strap on to Wrestle Mania Night 1 D-Gen Wrestling Take Over! Hello, my name is Nathan, and alongside Ben, we are D-Gen Wrestling, coming at you live from the safety and comfort of Final Cut Presents a Director's Cut podcast at Bodyslams and Dropkicks social media platforms, and all of our streaming locations, which are not ours, but we'll steal them anyway. We are here to go over our WrestleMania Night 1 predictions, which, by the way, you can find exclusively on DGen Wrestling's YouTube channel. We're going to have an awards ceremony for Night 1, and quite frankly, we are going to have one of the biggest discussions in all of wrestling. So stay tuned. For now, though, before we get started, can we talk about the Miz's musical number?
Yes, we can. Who would have thought The Miz? We didn't start the fire. I think it was brilliant.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say better than Billy Joel's.
I'm going to go out on another limb and say you're probably wrong. But I did love it just as much.
See, here's the thing. Nobody expected it. It was out of the blue, and it just shows the genius of The Miz.
You're only saying that to benefit your mother.
Well, of course. I love my mother very dearly. She loves The Miz. And when she sees that musical number for the first time, her heart will sing with the fury of 1,000 suns.
If you think so.
Anyway, let's get to it. I believe the first match on the card was John Cena versus Theory.
It absolutely was.
Was it a disappointment to you?
It was.
Why?
So you figure if Theory is gonna go over, it's going to be to build him. It's gonna be in a way that's decisive, not completely abstract and cheating. Now, I love the biting. That was hilarious.
I remember I was sitting with you and you were like marking out over the biting.
The ref at the end walks into Theory's feet.
Yeah.
So doesn't
yeah,
see
he did.
Theory tap out. Theory taps out. Cena, he's like celebrating. Theory low blows him for the pin. That does nothing for Theory.
I'll give you that. I totally forgot about the ref being too close to Theory's feet by any stretch of the imagination, too. Like, it's not subtle.
Like, if you're gonna stop them from, when they're holding the ropes, you're trying to get the guy to let go. You don't go to the person's feet behind them where the person can't see. You go beside them, be like, hey, he's touching the rope.
Yep. But in any case, Theory ended up winning that. Point for me, you decided to go with Cena, if I remember my sources correctly.
Yeah, I couldn't see him not winning.
Well, unfortunately.
You like what I done there?
Yeah, I did, actually. Next up, we've got the men's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. If you haven't seen this match, just know it is a spot fest all the way through. It is 8.5 minutes of just pure spot, pure adrenaline.
I swear Ricochet was in the air for like 12 seconds.
Can you go over that, by the way?
I can't too much. So Ricochet done a shooting star press, like a running vaulting shooting star press to the outside. I believe it was off the top rope. I can't remember exactly. Into a group of people, and it looked like he flew.
It is absolutely a beautiful spot. Just like most of this match, if you look at just the way the synergy of all 8 people performed, absolutely incredible. And it's one of the few times I could tolerate Montez Ford in a match.
Yeah, I have to say, I think the Street Profits actually deserve the win here,
Yeah,
and I can see why WWE is high on Montez Ford. I
it,
just think they should be higher on
the guy who actually won the match, Angelo Dawkins.
Dawes. Yeah,
Dawkins was just as crisp as Ford throughout this match,
yeah,
but he's way bigger and did the same level of spots.
yep.
Which, for me, I'm wondering, okay, their charisma is about the same. Why not push Angelo Dawkins? But that's my hit to an otherwise great match. And speaking of great matches, I call this one the chicken winner. Seth freaking Rollins beats Logan Paul. Now, first of all, I think Logan Paul managed to top his entrance from last year.
Oh, he did.
Comes out with the Charizard card. Now this year comes out on a freaking drone.
Yeah.
How much more of a millennial can you be, and how great of a heel move was that?
Oh no, I thought it was pretty friggin' great.
Yeah.
It was definitely better than Rollins' entrance.
Oh yeah,
Rollins' entrance, a big red coat,
yeah.
conductor, and ode to Jeff Jarrett, I guess, for the attire.
Did he have the cowboy hat, the
No,
guitar?
no, no, no. The pink frickin'
Oh, that could be
like
that could be
strappy
Jarrett.
suit.
That could be Flair.
No, the strappy pink shirt that was just like three straps.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, that is
No, I
Jarrett.
know what you're talking about
Full
now.
on Jarrett.
Hmm.
Um. So yeah, this is the second one that we had as different for our predictions. Out of the three we had different, which means you've already won the chicken.
I've already won. We don't even have to. But in any case, see, here's the thing, and I've said this before. I am hoping and praying that something happens tonight that changes the way that we look at the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
Um, for me, it was about I want that to be a guy who's going to be Cody Rhodes' first opponent, who can play either a face or a heel, because you don't know how well the crowd is going to take to Cody after
Yeah.
he beats Roman. Seth Rollins is that guy. I know we've seen Seth Rollins fight Cody Rhodes.
Three times
Now,
and lose.
yeah,
He is not at the front of the line.
now for the 35th, 36th time. But here's the thing: Roman has decimated pretty well every other bit of competition that you have. Really. So you've got to spend time building all those guys up. Seth Rollins never lost to Reigns.
Yes, he did. Did he not? Oh
I
no, no,
don't.
he did not.
No, he
I don't think
didn't.
so.
Not in the 3 year run. No.
But neither has, say, I don't know, AJ Styles.
Is AJ back though? So that's my
AJ's
concern.
rumored to be coming back.
The last thing I have heard was he was still hurt.
I believe
And
he is rumored to be coming back soon.
yeah, I could buy AJ. I could buy AJ, but for me, Rollins was the very, very safe pick to win. In order to do
Yeah.
that, he would need to establish his credibility somewhere behind the oh 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 the the singing that we have to hear every freaking week ad nauseum. And beating Logan Paul, believe it or not, gives him that credibility. Um,
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Speaking of walking, talking credibility, We got Becky and the Boys versus Damage Control in the only match both of us got wrong.
Yeah.
And okay,
I think Damage Control is breaking up at this point.
Well, what else can they do?
They've lost like every match.
They've lost everything.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not even funny anymore. It's not even giving Io Sky and Dakota Kai the rub off of Bayley anymore.
No.
You pretty well lost all of Bayley's luster. I don't even know how you do that.
Yeah, they've been booked into
Horribly.
the ground, unfortunately.
Horribly.
The only matches they've won are they won the Women's Tag Team Championship, they lost the Women's Tag Team Championship, they won the Women's Tag Team Championship, and then they never defended them until they faced Becky and Lita,
which they lost.
And it's like, what the hell is going on with the booking of Damage Control? They could have been a huge force. I could have seen them being like, say, the female version of the Shield.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
done properly.
Yeah. Sorry, a Shield with more than 2 talkers.
Yeah.
All 3 of them can talk. And here's the thing. It would have been super easy to keep the result of this match the same.
Yeah.
And you could have built Damage Control. It's honestly baffling to me that you didn't do this. How about this? Becky and Lita actually lose the numbers game to Damage Control. This match right here is for the Women's Tag Team Championships. You defend it as a trios for a little while.
Freebird rule.
Exactly. You could keep Becky and the Boys the same. You could still give Trish Stratus her rub, which, by the way, there's
how fantastic was Trish in the match,
right?
And how sloppy was Lita,
right?
Like, oh my god!
So here's Trish Stratus. She hits a Hurricane Rana on Dakota Kai using Becky Lynch and Lita as leverage over the top rope down to the floor. It was one of the best women's spots I think I've ever seen.
Trish looked pretty clean in the ring. And Lita was just sloppy all over. It's like she was slow. She didn't know what to do. What the hell's going on? We love Trish and Lita.
Yeah. One of them came to play.
Putting in work.
Yeah, one of them came to play. The other one was a real detriment that just seems to get off on the name value. There were a few spots, particularly with Lita, where you could hear the crowd visibly dying down.
Yeah, there's a few spots that she was absolutely late to or didn't know exactly how to do.
Yeah.
I could think of like a roll up where she's like, okay, how do I do this again?
And my spot where I noticed it was the Trish Stratus and Lita Poetry in Motion.
Oh, the Poetry in Motion was terrible.
Awful.
She stepped up on her back, steps down, and then like just jumps into. It's like that wasn't even a Poetry in Motion.
No, that was just motion. There was no poetry about it. You managed the Hardys for years. You should know this.
Yeah.
Trish Stratus knew it. She's in perfect position.
Yep.
It makes zero sense to me. Anyway, manhandle slam off the second rope. Nice win for Becky.
It was nice. It was.
Like, as much as you can say the Damage Control was booked badly, Becky Lynch needed a win over Bayley so freaking bad.
I think Bayley also needed the win. Bayley, I think her character, as much as I love her character, is becoming stagnant again.
Yeah.
I'm hoping something good comes out of it tonight.
Something good comes out of it tonight?
Or not tonight, on Monday.
On WrestleMania Sunday? What's coming out here? Like, where's the prediction? This is new to me. We didn't go over this.
Backstage, maybe? Like a backstage segment? Who knows?
Will they break up Damage Control and Bayley in a fit of rage brings out the wacky crazy inflatable arm flailing tube man?
I'm still used to pay-per-views being only on Sundays.
I'm tired. This thing's usually less than a half hour.
Yeah.
speaking of things that could have lasted half an hour, Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. Surprisingly,
I love the match.
surprisingly, very, very good.
Dom spot where he threw whatever Aaliyah was drinking on her. I love
Oh,
that.
oh, heel heat, and the crowd ate it
Ray
up like mad.
spanking Dom
Okay,
with a belt.
that's just you laughing at Dominic's pain.
Oh, it's great. But oh, can we talk about the entrances for this?
Yes, yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Dominic Mysterio leaving a correctional institute, not a jail,
Yep,
a correctional
correctional
institute.
institute. He's got like four unarmed guards, some of which look deliberately out of shape.
Oh, it was so fucking great. And the
And then
beauty of the mask
he
when he
comes out
exits the van.
in the best mask ever.
Oh, it was so good. Oh, getting the cuffs off and everything. And then, oh my god.
Those
Ray.
cuffs,
Oh,
those
yeah.
cuffs look like he can break out of them at any time.
Yeah.
He just chooses not to.
And then Snoop driving Ray to the ring. First playing like I believe it's a Snoop Dogg song. I can't remember
Yep.
which one.
No.
And then all of a sudden,
Viva la raza!
raza!
And the crowd just goes, ah!
Ray, oh my god.
The one thing that I will say about that entrance that, you know, would put it under Dominic's correctional facilities entrance for me is the fact that Ray didn't come out on the entrance ramp, so there's a lot of people who could not have seen unless you're looking at the jumbotron.
Which I'm sure there's a giant jumbotron.
Yeah,
it's easy to.
Yeah,
oh my god,
I'm just like it was damn good. It was damn
Ray
good.
had like Eddie's mannerisms of the shimmy and that all
down.
the
way down.
That is, I think, my entrance of the night.
Yeah. Fair enough. We'll get to that. The one thing that I wanted to talk about that you didn't was there was a sunset flip buckle bomb spot.
Yes.
And oh my god, I did a spit take.
That
I had to rewind 3 times.
Was beautiful.
It was nasty.
In a beautiful way.
It looked like Ray had legitimately concussed himself.
Yeah.
It was shocking. Like, it was nasty. Absolutely nasty. It was filthy.
It was such a good match.
Oh my god.
I like the interference by Judgment Day. It's very much in character.
Yep, absolutely.
Priest taking off his jacket, in which seems like I'm ready for a fight type of way, putting it in the Dexter Loomis corner, which, by the way, if you hadn't seen SmackDown or listened to our
predictions,
we call that the Dexter Loomis corner now.
Yep, top right corner is the Dexter Loomis corner. That is the way that it goes.
All for it to be revealed, there's a chain in the jacket for Dominic.
Beautiful.
And Bad Bunny takes it away.
Yeah.
I think that was brilliant.
Beautiful. And what's more important is, okay, let's say Ray isn't retiring at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, I want Dominic Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio again after seeing this match.
From speculation, it's seeming a little bit like Rey Mysterio, Bad Bunny versus Dominic and Damian.
Yeah, which could be
coming up sometime.
Because here's the thing, I would love to see Bad Bunny versus Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah,
I would love to see it just based off of that and based off of that interaction, knowing what I know about Bad Bunny and knowing that he can go.
Yeah, with how it looks, that's what it's looking towards. But I'd be more interested right now in seeing Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar versus because I want to see how this new LWO goes if they are going to carry on with it and it not be a 2-night thing.
Yeah, absolutely. From one great match to another, Rhea Ripley beats Charlotte Flair.
Oh my god.
Oh my
I
god.
was not expecting this match to be so good.
I
Uh
was it was
Charlotte
so
Flair
clean.
might have a broken nose.
It was so clean. It was so brutal. It was so hard.
The only spot I really had an issue with was Charlotte did like either over rotated or under rotated and landed face first.
Yeah, which could have broken her nose.
And it very well might have.
Yeah. Uh,
Um
but
Charlotte, I will say, as much as I don't like her, can't stand her, she done really well at putting Rhea over here.
absolutely, absolutely, Rhea looked like $1 million.
And I have to say, she looked really happy doing so.
Yeah,
So I have to give props for that.
yeah.
A bit of the Charlotte stink has worn off, but not completely.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of which, like, because you're in the mood of praising Charlotte Flair, let's
I
praise
hate it
her
though.
reaction to the crowd
Yeah.
because the crowd turned on her so quickly
So
during
she
this
played the
match.
heel.
So she played the heel and she played it, you know, we say this all the time. Charlotte Flair should not be a face. This is exactly why.
Yeah.
And all of your promos leading up to this, every single one.
It very much reminds me of the like Rock Hogan match.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, let's play this as the fans see it.
Yep.
So Charlotte, the face playing the heel in the match,
Yeah.
where Rhea, the heel, playing the
the face.
And I think this does like amazing things for Judgment Day specifically as well. Just because I think you can have a heel and face reactions within the same group if done properly.
Yeah.
And I also really love that Judgment Day didn't come out for Rhea.
And people, more important than that, people have wanted to see Rhea Ripley win for a very long period of time.
And decisively, like she did.
Yes.
The Riptide, or the Avalanche Riptide, which is the second time an Avalanche finisher was used in this pay-per-view.
I don't care.
No. But it was still so freaking good.
So
a lot of people were saying, this is why this should have been the last match.
No.
This is why it should have been the last match. And here's what I have to say. Heozania defeats the Usos.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But before we get to that, we're missing one very important match here.
We are, but
Pat McAfee.
Oh,
Pat McAfee versus The Miz.
Sorry.
No one expects Pat McAfee to be there.
Nathan's favorite match of the night. Sorry.
No, it was not my favorite match of the night. Let's make things clear.
When The Miz completely decimated himself.
Oh my god, he did!
By getting destroyed by Pat McAfee and what the hell's the guy's name?
Basically? Oh god, I don't know. One of McAfee's football buddies. I couldn't tell you. It was 3 minutes, but I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm fine with this.
And then Nathan's worst spot of the night, Pat McAfee not joining the rest or the commentary team for the final match.
1000%. Because I'm sorry. One of you has out of Graves, Cole, and McAfee, one of them has an unbridled childlike joy for wrestling that is so refreshing on commentary that you can make the stalest commentator of all time both likable and good.
And here's the reason I like that he didn't join for the last match. we didn't have to hear Corey Graves bitch and moan about Pat McAfee being on commentary during
I'd
the
give you that.
KO Zania versus the Usos match,
Yeah, which,
which would have taken away from it.
yeah,
Now, the match got off really slow, but in a such great way. I know a lot of people
oh
were complaining about it, being like, "This is saying this match is going so slow. It's not paced like the women. This is why the women should have ended."
no,
But no, it was paced slow for a reason.
it was
It's
paced
because of
deliberate.
storytelling.
It was deliberate, and it
And
was beautiful. And your
yeah,
crowd bit into every moment, every spot, so that when it did pick up and you did get more spots, you have the crowd both absolutely devastating because you don't know what's going to happen because you've had that psychology in there, and the crowd absolutely elated for Owens and especially Sami Zayn. I just have one note here, and that note is, oh, thank Christ.
yeah,
um, I was so happy watching this match, and here's the thing: I love having no notes for a match whatsoever.
yeah,
Um, because that just means that I'm completely enthralled with the characters, with the story, and that's what I want to have as a fan of this business. Um, the thing that shocked me was Sami Zayn kicking out of the one and done.
yeah.
When
That was a
when he did
big
that,
thing.
when he did that, I whispered under my breath like, "Oh fuck no!"
Yeah. First time anyone's kicked out of the one and done.
Yeah,
But can we talk about Jey Uso hitting a haluva kick?
yeah, yeah, like a dagger through the hearts of
Oh,
thousands,
so heartbreaking,
thousands.
but such a beautiful spot.
It was gorgeous, and then and you could feel the air just sucking out of the place.
Yeah,
Uh, and then Sami Zayn kicks out,
yeah,
and oh my god, the pop! Oh my god, the pop!
yeah. Lots of near falls in this,
Well, yeah, absolutely,
but done
beautifully,
perfectly.
beautifully.
Um, yeah. KO had some excellent spots. Uh, Kevin Owens, I want to say, is like kind of an unsung hero of this match, being that he knew he wasn't going to be a central point for it.
Yeah, yeah. Sammy's the face. The the Usos are the heels, specifically Jay.
Yeah.
Kevin is the glue that held everything together.
Yeah. Kevin Owens went missing multiple times during the match,
Yep.
but in storytelling, it was amazing
Yeah. Because you completely forgot that Kevin Owens was there. And
at
you're
times.
yeah, and you are like just because you're so enthralled with Sammy. And that's why like do you remember a few weeks ago we were here and we were talking about the character versus like the moves
Yeah,
and the stuff like that. This match for me was all character.
it very
And
much
then
was.
when
But
the
the
and
moves
then
were
when
still
the
so good.
oh yeah, no, I'm not taking anything away from the moves. But but when those characters are there, holy crap.
Yeah.
You felt something different in the air. Uh this is one of honestly top to bottom one of the best WrestleManias night ones there have been, and
Yeah.
some of the best WrestleMania there's been,
Yeah,
definitely within the
absolutely.
past few years.
Yeah.
Like,
So we get to the end of the match. One haluva kick,
yeah,
two haluva kicks, three haluva kicks.
yeah.
Very Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. What was it? Backlash 2016?
Yeah, I think
Something
you're
like
right
that.
there. I think you're right.
And like basically after the first haluva kick, the like hug from Sammy to Jay being like, I'm sorry, and then doing it again one more time. Kevin Owens had to stun Jimmy, but I think this was the perfect way to end that. Sammy needed to pin Jay.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. If you do have the opportunity to go watch night one, watch it. Night two, I'm scared for now because it's got a lot to live up to.
There are two matches I think that can are or three matches that I think are going to live up to it, but I am scared for the other three.
So, are you thinking the triple threat, Edge, Balor, and Roman Cody?
Yes,
Okay.
those ones I think are okay. The women's showcase because I know how much Ronda doesn't like to sell.
Yeah.
Brock versus
Brock,
Omos because I know how much Omos can't do anything.
yeah.
And I think Oscar Bianca will be good. I
But will
just
it be on the
don't
level?
know of
Will
Scarlet
it be on
Rhea,
the
maybe.
level of matches like 2 through 8?
Yeah,
Especially since people are going to make an apples to apples comparison about Reyes Charlotte.
and the only titles that haven't switched hands so far is the U.S. title.
Yeah.
Uh, which is like
Which makes sense.
how many more titles are going to switch hands? Like I could very much see Walter losing.
See, I can see
I could
Walter
also
winning.
see him retaining, but I can see him losing. Uh, I very much see Bianca losing,
I'm hoping Bianca loses.
and if Cody doesn't win,
We riots.
LA riots.
Yeah, there'll be riots because who else could you have at this point? But that being said, absolutely phenomenal night one from WWE. Fantastic job, and thank you for getting me free chicken. Uh, anyway, it is now time for the games portion of this show. It's called Award Time or Sami Zayn. This is the part of the show where I've come up with several different categories of the night. We're going to go through, say our picks and why. If, however, we cannot think of one, we can always say or Sami Zayn because this was truly the night of Zania. Let's be honest. So, for best entrance, we've got the Prison Dom Correctional Facilities entrance. We've got the Logan Paul drone entrance. We've got the John Cena Make a Wish entrance with all the Make a Wish kids. We got the Rey Mysterio homage to Eddie Guerrero, or we've got Sami Zayn.
And I already said it. Rey
Yeah,
Mysterio's homage to Eddie Guerrero
yeah. Uh,
is my entrance of the night.
as for mine, Prison Dom's Correctional Facilities entrance.
I understand why.
I it's so funny, it's so overblown, it's so beautiful, and it's so dickhead
Yeah,
heel Dom.
yeah.
It is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and I like how I do have to say I love how Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn didn't have a gimmick to their entrance. That feels very them.
Yeah, absolutely, especially after the way things have went down between the two of them. Um, spot of the night, we've got Trish Stratus standing Hurricanrana over the ropes. Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio buckle bomb. Anything in the men's showcase match. The referee of the Becky and the Boys damage control match actually dodging, or Sami Zayn.
Okay, so for this one, out of all of these choices, I'm gonna have to go with Sami Zayn kicking out of the 1D.
Oh, that is fantastic. That's a little later on in my list of awards, but that is absolutely tremendous. It's a great spot. For me,
It's the buckle bomb, right?
that spot was where I popped. The buckle bomb was the spot where I'm like, oh my god, no.
Yeah.
And my chest dropped a little bit. My my voice dropped. My enthusiasm was just not there. it was absolutely devastating.
Yeah.
Biggest disappointment of the night. No Miz musical duet with Snoop Dogg. Angie and Aaliyah did not get Ray DQ'd. Jay Uso didn't turn on Jimmy. Pat McAfee not on commentary after his match. Lita in general, Charlotte Flair in general, or the person who's not going to win this because he was not a disappointment.
My biggest disappointment of the night has to be that Lita. As much as I want to say no musical duet between Miz and Snoop Dogg, it's got to be Lita.
Yeah.
She was the weak point of that match.
I don't blame you one bit. It was to the crowd's detriment, as we were already saying.
Yeah.
And that is never good, especially when you've got perfect apples to apples comparison with Trish Stratus,
Yeah.
who was
Yeah,
on point.
Yeah, and with there's only two others on here I would even consider over Lita, which is the Miz No musical duet
Yeah,
and Pat McAfee not on commentary.
yeah,
I understand why Jay didn't turn on Jimmy. It's not
yeah,
Jay doesn't need to turn on Jimmy. Jay
yep,
needs to turn on Roman.
yep,
Angie and Aaliyah did not get Ray DQ'd. There's no reason for them to. They're audience members. Audience members have never gotten somebody DQ'd like that. It wouldn't make much sense. And I would not say Charlotte Flair was a walking disappointment. Unfortunately, I wish
yeah,
I could.
yeah. Um, Mine is no Miz musical duet with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, I
And
know.
I think part of the reason is we saw how big of a disappointment Lita was going into it, in that tag team championship match.
Yes, but this was WrestleMania,
I
the
I
one
I
where people pull out all the stuff,
I
and
I
the
under
only stuff
I
she pulled
understand.
out was Taco Bell.
Oh dang, you went there. You really
Or
went
In-N-Out.
there. That's funny. So for surprise of the night, we've got Pat McAfee is back, baby. The referee of the Becky and the Boys Damage Control match actually dodging. I'm sorry, that is a crazy, crazy thing to have with how squishy the referees are. How good the Charlotte Flair Rhea Ripley match was. The crowd, Sami Zayn kicking out of the one and done, or Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn kicking out of the one and done.
Mine too. If you take a look at that, just the devastation out
Oh
of
yeah, absolutely.
all the crowd, and then he kicks out, and they're
Like they
like
hit the one
like
and done, and everyone is devastated.
like absolutely
And then
devastated.
he kicks out.
There is like
And he
no
had a
reaction.
very close. He had like two or three. Was it? I think like two very close near
Yeah,
falls before that.
before the one and done, it was nuts, absolutely nuts.
Oh, it was brilliant.
Uh, uh
Uh, Honorable mention to Kevin Owens kicking out of the Usos stereo Uso splash,
yeah,
please,
yep,
because that was also pretty big and very much had a lot of disappointment in the fans as well
yep.
until
Um,
he kicked out.
yeah, absolutely. Match of the night, we got Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos, Dominic versus Rey Mysterio, Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul, or Sami Zayn.
This one is difficult.
Yeah. Do you mind if I take it
Story.
first? Because yeah. Do you mind if I
Pardon?
take it first?
Yeah,
Because
go.
I got this one just so you can gather your thoughts. So the way I look at this is there's two ways to go about this, and you can't be wrong
Yeah.
because these matches are absolutely insane. For me, if you're looking at the moves, if you're looking at the crispness, and if you're looking at in ring awareness, you can go Flair Ripley.
Yeah.
If you are more of a fan of character work and working the hell out of the crowd for the biggest feel good moment you could possibly have, Sami Zayn KO versus the Usos. No disrespect though to Dominic Ray, Seth Rollins, Logan. All tremendous, tremendous stuff.
Yeah.
But that's just the way that I look at it. I don't know how you look at it.
I look at it the exact same way. I'm having troubles picking between the two.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to say Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, but that was a
It was
damn
a
good
damn good
match.
match. It was a damn good match.
But ending on such a high note of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defeating the Usos, Sami kicking out of the one and done, Kevin Owens kicking out of the stereo Usos splash, many, many super kicks.
Yeah, there were too many in that match, I will
But
say.
all done beautifully, I have to say.
Oh, absolutely
I
gorgeous.
think Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus the Usos is match of the night for me.
Yeah. Uh,
I know it's not everybody's. Like I think 90% of people are going to say Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley,
yeah.
but Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn finally defeating the Usos, ending their over 1,000-day title reign,
Yep.
and what's to come of the Bloodline? They've
Yeah.
lost their titles.
What is to come of the bloodline? Oh, we don't know if they've lost all of them, but realistically here,
Sorry, I only count the Bloodline as the followers.
fair enough. But here's the thing: you can pick any of the four of these and be absolutely in shock,
Yeah.
blown away. And here's the thing:
Uh,
the ones
yeah.
that were left off of here were a Spot Fest, which is down to my bias. If you like Spot Fest, you will love the men's
Yeah.
showcase match. It is great.
Oh,
Uh,
and one spot of the night that we missed. Sorry,
yeah,
I have to go
yeah,
back for
no,
a moment.
you
One spot of the
absolutely
night
do.
we missed. Logan Paul's jump to the table where Seth Rollins pulls KSI, the Prime Energy drink, onto
Yeah,
the table. Perfectly timed.
yeah,
So it wasn't like Logan was stood there, waited
waiting
for it,
for.
sees
He's
KSI
the
on the
one calling
table.
it. He's the one. He's the one timing it.
Logan takes his prime drink, takes a swig of it, spits it in the air, goes for the jump, and just as he's going for the jump, Rollins pulls KSI on the table.
Yeah,
It
beautiful.
was perfectly timed. Most of those spots do not go as smoothly. You usually see the person before you jump.
Yeah, but beautiful. But that's the thing. If you've got
Yeah.
four contenders for match of the night,
Yeah.
and you can't be wrong with any of them, you got a damn good night one.
Yeah, so Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, or Kevin Owens versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos
No,
is
no,
my match of the
we're
night.
getting to Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. We got to go through the happy period first.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I guess here you have Superstar of the Night.
I do, I do. So our nominations for Superstar of the Night are, drum roll please. Okay, I will provide the drum roll.
My desk doesn't really do it very well.
Sami Zayn, The Miz, John Cena's bald spot, Rhea Ripley, or Sami Zayn. Who do you got?
It's a tie between at least three of them. So the three I'm trying to decide between are Sami Zayn,
Yep.
The Miz, and or Sami Zayn. I think I'm gonna have to go with Sami Zayn because The Miz didn't have the musical number with Snoop Dogg.
You know, I was going to go because here's the thing. I can look at this from a few different ways. number one, if you want Rhea Ripley as your superstar of the night, like it was a crowning achievement. She was $1 billion.
Oh yeah.
Um, and she definitely deserves her spot. But for me, I was way more invested in the Sami Zayn
Yeah.
storyline. I will always go story over character. So Sami Zayn is in for me. When you look at The Miz, it's exactly as Ben says. He does not have the musical number with Snoop Dogg, which I know is what we all wanted, which would have been Miz's defining moment. So he's out.
The Miz
And
rapping? Who doesn't want to see that?
exactly. And the last thing that we got to worry about, John Cena's bald spot, plain and simple, did not get enough screen time.
Well, is it because you couldn't see it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm down to Sami Zayn or Sami Zayn. And after long agonizing hours
You're
trying to
gonna go
figure
with O or Sami Zayn.
I'm going to go with or Sami Zayn. He's been up for every category except for one. You got to give him his due. That
Yeah.
being said, fantastic night one. We're looking forward to night two. Absolutely incredible. So here's the thing. According to people, let's call them the network, we require a topic for this to be a podcast. Tonight, that topic is simple. Should wrestlers have an off season? Every year around WrestleMania, we get those talks, like the rumblings around, right? So should wrestlers have an off season? And if so, how would you go about doing it?
Okay, so I'm just gonna bust into this.
Do it.
Off season to me means time away from wrestling. There's a big break in between different wrestling seasons. I say no off season. Give like wrestlers, groups of wrestlers, holidays that they can be like, hey, I'm not here for this period. Let them rest. Let I guess them have their time to do what they can so they can come back better. But I don't think off season is the correct term.
You think holidays is the correct term.
Yes.
Fair enough. The thing that I
Or
thought of,
vacation.
yeah, the thing that I didn't think of, honestly, and it was brought to my attention by Dean, the bloke who runs Final Cut Productions and is a frequent collaborator on Bodyslams and Dropkicks, which is not this show by any means. Brought something to my attention that I think we need to consider is, are we looking at this from the perspective of like WWE or AEW, or are we looking at this as a whole in terms of several different promotions? Because Dean has wrote, for certain promotions, absolutely, especially those who are on the road a lot. If you have your WWE, you can tape weeks of shows in advance. So let's say he has as an example here, you can tape your last premium live event is December 6th. So you have about a week where you tape shows all the way through to the week of the Royal Rumble, which is like say January 24th or something like that. You have about 5 or 6 weeks there where you're not really needed. You can spend time with the family, recharge the batteries, and heal injuries, knowing that the WWE machine will still be available and will still be putting out content so that you can sort out stuff like behind the scenes. Let's say, however, you're a promotion that stays in the same place, have 2 weeks off over Christmas, unless you're on a short term contract, you're going to run yourself into the ground. Health is 100% priority, and if an off season is required to make sure that wrestlers' careers aren't cut short, it's worth it so long as those in charge thinks it's worth it.
Yeah.
There's one thing in there that I don't agree with, and
I do have a couple problems with it as well. Let's
yeah,
hear yours.
yes, of course. So the one thing I got is if you tape that many shows in advance,
Yeah.
for the WWE, you've got dirt sheets leaking every which way, left and right.
And you also have continuity issues because you're not going to be able to react to the fan or have the fans react as much as you want to storylines because of just everything's being done at once.
Yeah.
So the only fans you have to go off of are the ones in the arena. And also, those fans, while you're doing all those pre-taped shows and all that, their energy is going to be completely sucked out by the end of it.
Especially if you're doing it over the period of a week.
Yeah.
Where it like
I think, yeah,
they're all gonna be great shows for the first Raw or SmackDown that you do
yeah.
in a
I
taping, but
completely think they should have time off for Christmas.
yeah.
Like, yep, they do the two shows or four shows technically because of Raw and SmackDown. 2 weeks, like you film those two Raws, two SmackDowns the week before the Christmas holidays. Let them have their Christmas holidays. But I think the better thing to do is
Yeah.
to give vacation time. Be like, hey, you can choose to have like a month off or like a month, 2 months off here and there. Do what you need to do, get in shape, or you know that's how I would personally do
Yeah.
it. It seems the better way to do it.
On
And
a
not everybody is off at once, so
yeah.
you can still get continuity and all
Yeah.
that.
On a client by client basis. The thing that I would be concerned about with any off-season model, and this is something I just thought of because I was very much on the same wavelength as you until something went off in the 2 watt light bulb in my head here. What happens if you have an injury to somebody
What light
like a
bulb?
Sami Zayn or a Roman
1 watt,
Reigns?
1 watt at best.
Yeah. If you have, ouch, that hurt. That really hurt. I want you to know I'm going to get you back for that. I really do. But if you have an injury happen within the 3 4 months, you need a face bad. Let's say Cody Rhodes is off on holiday. Do you contact him and call him back early or bring him in early? Or
All
do
right, so
you?
let's just turn this dimmer switch on your 1 watt brain right now. Okay,
Yep, yeah.
novel idea. Build a new star.
Fantastic idea. How can you do it and do it well? If the WWE machine was working, or the AW machine was working, or the Impact machine was working, or whatever promotion you want to be in's machine is working, that could be theoretically possible to do.
Book them properly. You don't need that person, I think, right away. You need to build.
Yeah,
If somebody is on holiday and somebody gets injured, maybe if you were building people to, like, say, a good level the whole time, you would be fine instead of just relying on two, three people at the top all the time.
yeah,
Build people properly the whole time through, and maybe your shows would do better overall as well.
yeah. If you look at the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression, you can definitely see your point because you weren't just relying on one single face that ran the place.
No, they had like what?
In the Attitude Era, if Austin goes down, you have The Rock as your top base. If your Rock is the top heel, no problem. You've got Taker, you've got Kane.
I would
You've
even
got
throw Triple H. Shawn
yeah,
Michaels was in there for a bit as well.
yeah,
Jericho, they built really
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Edge was
Jericho,
on his way up. But
yeah.
right now, it
But
seems to
although
be
all those
one
slots are,
person.
yeah, all those slots are interchangeable. So in order to do that, at least in WWE's case, you would need something that's at least a little you would need a complete overhaul on how you build superstars. looking back to the
Yeah.
past
Well,
in order to do
since
it.
Triple H has taken a lot of control, and I do say a lot of because of
Yeah.
the rumors Vince McMahon was on Mike
Yeah.
last night.
Yeah.
You have people. I think McIntyre, he's been built well up. Sheamus has been rebuilt. You have Edge there, who's just if he's needed, he's needed.
Yeah, Edge is running down the clock though.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, he's still there right now.
Yeah.
Balor's being built back up. You got Cody, Rollins, Walter. He's building the people. Like, I think they would be fine overall because we have somebody building people instead of 2 week push. Let's pull the push.
Yeah. I'll give you that one. Absolutely. 110%. For companies like AEW or Impact, where let's say your wrestlers have a lot more control, unless your name is John Moxley, unfortunately, and that's another story for another day.
Yeah.
Um, I think the adage that Dean said is very important. Your health is important. Time with your family is important. Work life balance is important. 1,010%. You and I both work jobs where we come home, we're absolutely balls to the walls busted.
Yeah.
And it does not look good on you the next day because you go in and you're more likely to make a mistake because you're exhausted.
Yeah.
Um, like my concern, if you love wrestling, if you need to be a workaholic, great. Work as many indie dates as you can. We're not saying that an off season in your case is is
No.
necessarily a be all end all.
It's
But
the way I do is it's their choice to take
yeah,
it if they want it.
yeah, it's absolutely a choice factor, especially for indies, to be able to take it, use it, or
Which
not.
I will say, AEW does do that to the most part. It's just so again the John Moxley thing. He was called and asked if he would do it, and he said yes.
Yeah,
He made a choice,
yeah,
and then there are other things that weren't his choice,
yeah.
unfortunately.
That's
But
where
that's
I have
what
an
we'll
issue.
get into another day.
Yeah, that's where I have an issue. We'll get into that another day. But at the end of the day, it's wrestling, and your life is important. Your health is important. If you are getting to a point where you feel you can't go on, take a day, take a
Yeah,
couple of days, heal yourself up, and get ready to go back at 110% because you're no good to anybody if you are completely burnt.
absolutely agree. Go to that Dexter Loomis corner, sit out for a bit, and just chill.
Absolutely. And speaking of that corner, let's go back to that corner for a second. The one time he left that corner was to eliminate someone
And then he walked back.
instantly. And it got the hugest pop of the night because he's in this corner. It's
At
in
least from us.
this corner. Yeah. Well, it wasn't just us. Like that crowd.
Oh yeah, no, but mostly from
Because he
us.
won. He won. He moved. Then he goes back
And
to the
I have to
corner.
say, in WWE 2K23, Nathan had never thought about drafting Dexter Loomis
No, never.
beforehand, and
Never.
I always would.
Yep. Never, never.
And
Then
then
he
he
did the corner
stole him
spot.
first chance he
Then he
got.
did the corner spot. And yeah, you have to at that point in time.
Shout
Um,
out to Indy Hartwell, NXT Women's Champion. Help from Dexter Loomis
yep. Shout out
to
to
climb a
Dexter Loomis.
ladder. Um,
Thank you for leaving your corner for that.
I think that's the only thing I know about Stand and Deliver. So
Yeah. I can tell you Grayson Waller made a name for himself there. His match against Johnny Gargano was really, really good.
that's good
I,
to know.
I want to know where it goes from there. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, anything where you can build people up, always going to be a great show. And if Dexter Loomis ever leaves his corner again, like
We
we're
will
all
cheer.
screwed. We're all screwed. Thank you so much for listening, guys. This has been the DGen Wrestling takeover of Body Slams and Dropkicks. If you want to find us, we are available at our DGen Wrestling YouTube channel. Just run a search for DGen Wrestling. Ben, you are also available on several different spots, and I myself am available on www.deathpixie.ca. If you want to talk to me about voiceover opportunities or commission me for some of your own, www.deathpixie.ca. Best way to get a hold of me.
Yeah, and I am on Instagram and Twitter at DGen Sigma.
All right, perfect.
That's
Thank,
really
thank
all I have to
y'all.
say.
Perfect. Thank y'all so much for listening. This has been Body Slams and Dropkicks DGen Wrestling Takeover, and we hope to see y'all again next week.
And
Thank you so
stay in
much.
your corners.
Except for you. Get out of Loomis's. Now.